What's up, action takers, the community of doers? I hope you're doing fine. Episode 47, week 47, 52 weeks. Here we come. 5 episodes only to go for us to finish this first milestone, and I'm really excited of the kind of journey that we have taken together. It's impressive to see the power of consistency in play. But I think if you're doing something that you're passionate about and something that you love, there is a lot of aspects about these things of trying to do things regardless of how you feel. A lot of those things, they don't really matter. And it's so important for us to be able just to identify our passion. I don't want to digress, and it's just to appreciate what we've been able to do. And as we continue to metamorphosize, as we continue to grow, I make sure that I carry along all of us and try as much as possible to make a commitment to you that we are going to grow together and we are going to build this community and leverage on each other to become the best versions of ourselves. If you're clicking this video for the first time, I would like to appreciate you and to welcome you to join this community by subscribing. If you're a returning viewer and a subscriber, it's always a pleasure, and let's keep this community growing, and let's have fun. For you to be able to keep on doing something, it has to make sense to you. Sometimes we might think that we do things subconsciously, but on a very larger extent, it has to make some sense to you. And where am I going on with this? For you to know who you are, you must know who you're not. For you to be able to stand for something, you must be able to stand against something. For you to pick a path to the right, you must abandon the path to the left. For you to make decision A, you must have abandoned another decision B or C or D or Z or K or whatever there is. There must be something. The idea is that you can't be neutral, regardless of what you do. If you decide to take a direction, there must be a direction that you have abandoned, and you must make peace with that. But trying to go all directions, of course we know that is not possible. For you to pick one partner, you must have said no to another partner. For you to pick one job, you must have said no to a different job. For you to pick up a certain kind of a lifestyle, you must have abandoned a certain kind of a lifestyle. Life is a bargain, and most people don't want to go there. They just want to try to go with the flow, and they get a little bit of this, and they get a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and that do not work. Progress happens at the highest level of laser focus, and you cannot diffuse yourself to be everywhere and to participate in everything. Choose your poison. A bit controversial of a statement, but I bet you understand what I'm saying. For you to stand for something, you must stand against something. And the reason I'm saying that is, for you to be a really principled person, you have to say no to some things. And before even we go to a point of saying no to some things or to some people, you must be willing. No, let me go through that a different door. You must be able to tell yourself no. And I think to a large extent, the reason why people are not able to tell other people no, or they're not able to say no to other people, is because they cannot even say no to themselves. You have to conquer yourself first before you try to conquer even your environment or the larger world. You must be able to take territory of your own self. Some people, or most people, or we have people who cannot tell themselves no. And that's a very difficult position to find yourself. You must be willing to go to that path. If you have to get to the ultimate being of being principled and disciplined and consistent and all those fancy names that we give to, life, and that we associate with being a good person, you must be willing to tell yourself no. And you're telling yourself no to things that you don't stand for the things that you stand for to be validated by your own self. So to validate what you stand for is to say no to what you do not stand for. And I think without that, we might not even sit here and try to have a conversation that these are my principles and this is what I stand for. And the idea of people becoming people pleasers, it has affected so many people because you've just become a yes person. You just say yes to anyone or any kind of situation. And the idea here is not just to be a person who says no. No, the idea is to stand for something so strongly that you're willing to forego other things for that thing. So it's not saying no as just a mere no. It's saying no because you really, truly stand for something. So it's okay to say no and allow yourself to say no, and you have to start by saying no to yourself. What don't you do? Do you have those things that are non-negotiable? For your non-negotiable yes to be validated and to be valuable to you, you must have non-negotiable no's. Because you cannot just, for you to be able to pursue a path strongly, it must be laser focused. And by laser focus, it means that you're focusing on that thing and that thing only, foregoing all other distractions. So how strong are you to say no to the distractions? And by saying that it has to make sense to you, I don't want to introduce this point so strongly, but I think they go hand in hand, is the idea of you have to understand what is the return on investment to whatever thing you're doing. What is the return on investment to the decision that you're making? What is the return on investment to the relationships that you're in? What is the return on investment to the time that you're investing in that thing that you're doing? Just as a business, you must consider the return on your own investment of the money that you've put down. I think it's important for us to consider the aspect of return on investment in our day-to-day lives. Because there are very many things that we are actually investing into the life that we are going about our day. And we have to make sure that we demand return on investment on those things that we are investing. Of course, in this case, they are not monetary. When you invest your time, what is your return on investment on the time that you invest in those things that you're doing? What is the return on investment on that support system that you're offering to people? What is your return on investment on the emotional and the mental toll that you have to take for you to keep those people around? What is the return on investment on the energy that you put into those relationships? What is the return on investment on your availability, emotional and mental availability? Your own skills and knowledge that you're putting, what is your return on investment on those things? Again, these are not monetary, so the return on investment might not be also monetary, but you have to really know what it is. The same year you go to a business and you have to do the numbers, you also have to do the numbers here. And very, very few people find themselves doing that. The only thing that the return on investment is on the money. But even when it comes to your time, when it comes to your energy, when it comes to your own self as a person, you should consider that. I think it's important for me to end it at that point with these two concepts. One, for you to stand for something, you must stand against something. And for you, what you stand for to be validated, you have to say no to all the other distractions. And the second aspect is that you have to know the return on investment, be it monetary or non-monetary, to the things that you put or you set yourself for. Episode 47 done. See you on episode 48. Hit that subscribe button and let's go and make it happen.